There is something upsetting about being one paycheck away from financial ruin and then hopping on this fantasy game called Wartales, where the same thing is, happening. However, in Wartales, you can get away with a little more, as the guards come to arrest me for stealing food. So I put the blame onto my pony for committing this atrocity. They hail it off to jail and I'm free to steal another day. Wartales is a game about a band of mercenaries going out and solving everyday problems, like go deliver this to electing a new blacksmith, chopping heads off, to assassinating for minimum wage. But before you get to enjoy a militia of civilians wanting to burn you at the stake for existing, you start off by picking your mercenaries' life stories, as well as a difficulty mode between adaptive and region locked. Personally, it makes more sense to go with region locked, as I want to come back to the start of the game and turn this dude inside out. Starting with 4 mercenaries, you can change how they look, but I didn't come here to play Sims, so let's just name them. Alright, we got John Marston, Laura Croft, Saitama, and Bob, each having different skills suited for battle, eventually unlocking specializations better suited for your team or to kill everything in sight. Oh, and we get a pony. First out of the womb, you're met with combat, turn-based tactics, but you get to pick on who goes next in the turn order. If one of your mercs gets slapped or a boulder falls on his head, they go into dying mode, where a sneeze will send them 6 feet under, and if they die, they are dead forever, so they can only run away and hope for the best. To get them out of their slump is to either let them die or have someone heal them or win the battle. Only a few champions carry the ability to heal, and they can't heal themselves. You need ability points to cast, well, abilities. They are shared among the group. You can use your merc's abilities as much as you like until you're out, so nobody can use an ability. It took me a little longer than I care to admit to figure that one out. These bandits of course picked a bad day to be alive, and we take their stuff, as well as we take their bodies to eat. As you're exploring the great world of lush flowers to zombie hordes and religious zealots, you will unlock research points to make your journey a little smoother. Additionally, your beloved mercs that will certainly not die to pitchforks because you made a oopsie. They get to learn respective jobs like being a blacksmith or a thief to pick locks out of Skyrim. When you start, the game really doesn't tell you on where to go or what to do. In reality, you can do whatever you want. Go hunting, get hunted, be a bounty hunter, or turn to a life of crime and regret your choices when you die. But the game has region-based missions. You can find a major settlement to guide you along. Usually you will find yourself between 2 rival factions, and you get to pick on which one to side with. I used to pick on what was morally correct. However, now I pick based on what offers the best loot or items. Doesn't matter if the good guys die, I want your gear. An unforgiving world. This infected man with bubonic plague, where the wife is asking us to take care of him. Instead, we just take your shit and let them figure it out. Stealing is pretty simple. You can take as much as you want as long as you don't go over the 100 mark threshold. The guards or anyone won't care, but if you do go over, oh boy, good luck to you. The game will spawn guards just to hunt you down. You could just run away and hope they lose your trail, but there is something called fatigue, where your champions have to rest and regain, making you set up camp where you might get jumped if you're in a bad area. Camp starts off with a fire and a workbench, but then turning into something where you would call home. However, camp is where runs start to get a little dicey. Your champions require food and money. If you can't feed or pay them, bad things start to happen. They will either develop bad traits or just leave the group. Your mercenaries will usually establish relationships with each other, becoming best friends or wanting to kill one another. Like if you're in battle and one of your archers decides to miss the enemy and hit your own. Oops. Or if they do get hit, they can develop a positive trait. Another great way to build a relationship is to have them sleep with each other. Teacup the boar I found in the wild and I took it by force, and it happens to be a drunk. Mario had to be slipping it some mead. You're going to lose mercs like Teacup, and now it's a pork chop in Mario's belly. Host a funeral in their honor. In towns, you can buy mercenaries, but I wouldn't recommend that as it's expensive. Instead, you will find able bodies willing to join for free, like the dude with bubonic plague, and you're going to need them to take on the elites, aka the bosses. Take on some bounties to earn some gold and better gear before heading into a new area, because Wartales wants you to feel the struggle of heading into battle and watching all of your troops die before your eyes. More gold means more food you can buy, as food is a rare commodity. Some towns have food that you can buy that will last you a day or two. The more troops you have, the higher upkeep in food. Capture the local wildlife to help you kill other wildlife. Animals are AI controlled, but you can pick up a skill to control them in battle, which I highly recommend. Your mercs may have a death door, but your pets don't, and they will just die from any lethal hit. So make sure they stay alive by having them be far away from the battle. Oh, and watch out for traps around the battlefield. Fire is the worst thing when it comes to combat. As soon as one of your mercs gets lit on fire, they're going to stay that way for the rest of the combat. It spreads to anyone that they are touching. That means when some dickhead runs up on you and hits you with their torch, they will also catch themselves on fire. The only thing fire is good for, and that's exploring the tombs. Tombs are big and dark. Your mercs can't see shit, but the enemy can see you. Always take the smart route and safest, or else your pony that somehow came inside gets a concussion. Solve puzzles to get legendary loot. Except some puzzles make me want to bash my head in, but I guess it beats running into a ghost pack for the very first time and being very underleveled. I mean, look what happens to these NPCs if they enter it. Let's not go that way, except let's try this area with people with tattoos on their head that look like outcasts from Diablo 4 that couldn't get to level 10 on hardcore mode. Wait a minute. I'm the one getting packed up. back to the other side, where we find a quest where a homeboy joins us forcefully, and who doesn't do anything except eat all your food. You have to complete the request or else say goodbye to your food and hello to starvation. There are a couple of things you should know the game doesn't really tell you about. In camp, you probably build some things, but you actually need to assign your mercs to them for them to actually work. You may have already known that, but I didn't for a long time. Next is these things will help you scale up and down cliffs, getting to secret loot or hopping the border. The banner description makes the banner sound absolutely useless. Go ahead and craft it and find some game-changing shit. Never buy skill books, it is a waste of money. Instead, just steal them. You'll be 3 stars into the wanted level, making every guard and their mama look for you. All you gotta do is use them on your mercs and you're all set to turn yourselves in. Find a guard, which won't be hard to find. Just pay the fine, which is 20 gold. So either pay close to 1,000 gold for a couple of books or just take them. With 1,000 gold you saved, you can buy a travel post that you will never use. Like most stuff in your inventory, you will never use it and it is poorly designed, spending a little too long finding junk to sell. Do every available arena you come across. Only a select few can go in, so I send the best of the best. Kratos, Commander Shepard, Lara Croft, and of course Bob. Kratos will kill you and all of your friends before his turn is done. Shepard will make sure you end up in pieces, Lara Croft will shoot you a lot, and Bob is a god destroyer who will make sure you wish you never touched him. Win after win. The world will know your reckoning as this priest wants us to help him out by blowing up this bridge and taking our supplies in the name of the all-seeing eye. Instead, we just have him join our collection of food. The religious zealots didn't like that, so we find ourselves surrounded by zombies in a whole new area. Wherever you go, you will find things that want to eat you, from mosquitoes to zombies to what the hell is that. Better come stocked with food because there's really no place to find any, and most towns are overrun by zombies. To enter these towns, your mercs need to be ninjas and not make any noise. Too much noise, the zombies will come and eat your face, and too less, well, nothing will get done. So I just bring everyone. So stay prepared for the elite boss, who, if you don't kill quickly enough, will send an army of zombies. Not good. Plus, you don't want to deal with the walking zombie horde just going around in circles. I guess we'll have to just sit here and wait until they go by. Psych, we don't wait for anyone, as we are late for our football game. Kratos sure loves taking people out and winning. After some killing, going in this arena, then another arena that sucks ass, you will find yourself in the endgame regions with the worst mission that made me want to commit war crimes on my own computer. You're tasked with protecting some ambassador and the townspeople don't like him, so they want to kill you to get to him. The only way to win is that the ambassador survives and your mercs flee the battlefield, highlighted in the green area. I placed him right next to the exit so he can just flee and survive. The town villagers don't mess around as they are bloodthirsty and hit hard. Oh, and there's a dump truck amount of them. I probably spent around 4 hours on this mission, trying every possible strat I could think of. At least 3 of the hours is me just sitting there watching, because of the stupid amount of villagers taking their sweet ass time deciding how they're going to kill this bastard. And he deserves every bit of it. And I know what you're thinking, why wouldn't I just load a save and come back at a later time? Well, I haven't saved in quite some time, so that ain't an option. So if you're like me and stuck with tired mercs and a moron, and you don't want to lose a single merc or a doggy, well, follow exactly what I do. Place Dickhead and Bear near the green flea zone. Cuddles the Bear will be placed somewhere close, but not too close, where you want Cuddles to take on many villagers as possible. Use your most tanky units to engage combat, leading a path to flea zone, leaving enough room for dog and squishy units to make their way through, never using them to engage or be engaged on, or else they die. Rogues, however, don't stay with a convoy, they'll start somewhere else, and to distract some villagers, then will make their escape. Make something like this. Have a tanky unit like Geralt of Rivia in a choke point. Do the same with some others, placing them so everyone can escape. One by one, move everyone to the choke point and escape. So that's how you beat this mission. Any questions? Oh, keep in mind they keep chasing you in the campaign map, so you better be hauling ass, or else you have to do this mission all over again. You must be thinking that was hard, and you're right, but that is nothing compared to the most common thing in the game, XP. You see, earning XP makes no damn sense. If you kill a level 1 wolf, you get 200 XP, give or take. If you kill a level 8 wolf, which is certainly much harder and takes a lot longer, you only get 200 XP, give or take. To reach the last region, I had to be level 10, and it will take me about 100 hours of farming to make it. So fuck that, I slapped on a mod to crank the XP up, and now everyone is level 11. Walk into the Tomb of the Thunder, I think, to be met with a Creeper King, who doesn't play very nice, and now I'm wishing I was farming those level 1 wolves. The game is constantly being updated with new things to explore or try out. All in all, great game. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe if you did. My name is Lando. Laters.